Today I'm here to take you through the editing process of photos. My doggy Renegade is having a late night snack. Over here to my right, he will be done shortly. So the first things first, with our latest radio ad campaign we did, some commercials talking about same day edits, and why that's a big deal. It's a little bit more than just having a filter placed on photos for same day edits. I'm going to show you what I mean. So I realize the tutorial things I always show off, they always kind of seem like you've got a working knowledge of this. So this is something for you. If you have zero working knowledge of the Lightroom Photoshop process, this is the video for you. That is what we're shooting and working on today. Using this Wacom pen, Wacom tablet, as well as a little bit of mouse. And Wacom's just going to give you greater control over your images. You can, it's got pressure sensitivity, so you can apply a little bit, you can apply a lot. It just kind of depends what the photo needs, what your style is, what you're trying to go for. Now I'm going to be using both Lightroom and Photoshop. This is kind of sort of process. Lightroom I sort of categorize, organize photos. Photoshop I'll go in deeper on certain pictures. Every photo won't have Photoshop that I do. Some pictures will require less, some will require more. It is really a case-by-case, photo-by-photo thing. I'm going to be using both a mouse and a pen, a Wacom tablet, to edit, which these things are every bit the truth they were always advertised and promised to be. The first photo I've got, the photo I've got right here is one of me looking not thrilled with the universe. So, first things first, this is the picture we had in the library. You can put stars behind it. My star system goes down. Like 1 means is great. 5 means, I don't know, 3, I normally land somewhere on the 3 to 4 mark photos. You can also use colors on the keyboard to highlight photos that you want, so when you're looking at them in a big grid, you'll see this one has a blue bar around it, or a blue square around it, that lets you go through pictures and pick them out quicker. Say you got clients over to your left or your right. These are the pictures that we're marking, these are the ones that we want to go with. Opening up our develop module, which can be customized all kinds of ways, from shift tab to bring it larger, tab it over this way. It can be stretched like so to get, if I can get it to stretch, yeah, like that, to get more real estate. This side here could just flat out be closed off as well. Wait, there we go. There's the closing off. First things first, white balance I can see is going to take care of a whole lot of problems. Finding a neutral area. There we go, we kind of warmed it up. Maybe warmed it up slightly too much, but no, not really. I can roll with that. Instead of hitting things like the exposure first off, I might just go with shadows again. It just kind of depends on the photo that I'm trying to go for. Getting a little bit more light in here. And one more thing, since this was shot on a G Master 28 to 70mm Sony 873 III, I also will go into a lens correction. Enable profile corrections. It already knows what I have before and after that. And I actually sort of like the before on those lens corrections, so I'm going to go with it. Remove any chromatic abrasions. And we're off and rolling. We're almost ready for Photoshop. Now this photo already looks a whole lot better. We're going to try to clean up a few things. I'll show you what I do for some of the facial edits, not really glamorizing it, just really simple stuff. As Renegade stops eating and joins me. You can do so many things in Photoshop, but keep in mind there's probably several ways to do everything in Photoshop. So what I'm just showing you right here is a good, quick, easier way for me to do things, and some things will just require way more detail to go into, and some things you can kind of get down with this run and gun, not really, I'm not running, I'm sitting and gunning type editing style. So I'm gonna go in here, edit in Photoshop. First things first, Command J. I will duplicate this layer. And that works for two things. I can make a mistake and go back, delete a layer, depending on what the edit is that I'm doing. Also, I can see before and afters of my photos. And I can see before and afters of photos for the sake of something like this tutorial. And it's also cool to see what all you've worked on, what all you've done, how little adjustment was, how big the adjustment might be. Having that original layer down there is pretty cool for that as well. Okay, so first thing I'm seeing right here is kind of getting my eyes, I zoom in. I've got some gray hairs. This is where all the grays are going right here. They do exist. These could have fallen out. I don't know if I've ever popped them out. But say you want to do a little deal where you kind of blend that in a little bit. So we can hit J, go with the spot healing brush. And what that'll do is you just kind of draw over something like so. And it sort of takes it out, but that didn't really do all that good a job. Command Z to back out. For this particular one right here, I will probably go with my other J option, that clone patch. And just kind of do a little deal like that. If that big gray was really bothering me all that much, which it's not. I don't really care that much, but for the sake of this tutorial right here, and I've got more in here, I'll do some other stuff with the shading and things like that later on here. But coming into the face, and just let's see what the world's going on here. This is like a bump. Let's clean this up. Here, I'll go back to the J on the clone patch. Spot healing brush 2 can come into play right here. It's different working on a gentleman's face than a lady's face. I see a lot of acne issues right here, like I need to take better care of my skin. But that will, oh, I'll put it back. I don't want to put it back. There we go, put it back that way. Command D to unselect. That's not the cleanest of edits, but it's so small in the photo. And I also have these like moly things right here, just regular skin stuff. That's just being 36 and aging. But for my texture, I don't know, I think I'll do sort of a smoother texture like I would do on female stuff. I don't really like to get real distinguishing marks like this right here though, because those are really distinguishing marks. And it's kind of part of the features. But for the sake of editing, just going through here, pulling these out, and you see they just disappear. As a living mammal, having freckles and things like this, it just makes sense. But showing you the power of this tool of Photoshop, this is what an edit would sort of consist of. Maybe on a female, or really any other gentleman, not myself, I would not go through all this. But I'm just showing you some of the techniques used, some of the tools used. Deselect that. Not the cleanest edits, but it's not the cleanest of skin. This is a guy who's looked like he's seen some things here. He's been around. So if I want to do a little bit more skin smoothing, I will go immediately to probably this brush tool right here. You can sample an area by hitting Option on a Mac and a little light rub on. You want to make sure that you're getting it. And in this area right here, as I zoom in, you can see this is where that marker's sort of going over this area, but we don't want it right there. We're gonna take it away. 2 clicks on the pin. One reason it's so good, it just lets me know that yeah, I do have it selected for this area, and yes, it is going over the face. We're just gonna do a little bit of a rub in here. Actually, I can zoom out. About a little before and after action already. You can see it working. There's the freckles. There's cleaning up the forehead a little bit. All super subtle. The skin texture's still there. The pores are still there. That's always a thing I try to get to. I got it set to 100 for extreme cases, for teaching purposes, but really, let's take down the opacity intensity and let's just run over the face here. This is a lot of the life in this particular thing. Sampling different areas and trying your best to keep a natural look. Again, if that's what you're going for, sometimes it's not really what you're going for. The focus is a little bit more on the background side. This would be the foreground. This is more the background. The focus is more on this side of the face, so something to keep in mind. Shot remotely. I think this shot was composed, I know this shot was composed on the phone, and then it was turned into a clip for, I know this shot was composed on a phone app, and it just adjusted the A7 III to fire off the shot. Let's go with another technique right here. Let's get back our line, set to content aware. Let's draw a little line right here and see if it takes it out a little bit. Just a smidge. Perfect for a little bit of the crow's feet that I'm rocking And the thing here is, I'm not really going for perfect on this. I'm just going for taking a little bit of the edge off. And that walk on tab allows you to just kind of quickly expand a brush, which is really the way to edit on this type of work. And it doesn't have to be an expensive tablet. This one was $50 Black Friday. And what what you see is what a tablet in from the mouse is that pressure sensitivity, quickly expanding how big you want the brush to be, and just really doing a job on this thing. And it probably makes me move 30% faster. So I definitely highly recommend it. Might just do a little speed up here in the edit. So for eyes, let's go to another layer right here, super quick. Now there's not a lot there, I kind of drew over it, but if I had like a vein kind of running here, clone patch, you can move it. There's a slight coloration there, clone patch the other way, and then it can go away. I also like using that other brush tool for this. Let's go back to the brush. Let's just whiten it up just a little. Subtle. The eyes can get out of control really, really quick. And once you lose the eyes looking natural, oh boy, you're in for something here on these photos. Now there's a technique to really do this and really bring out clarity in the eyes, but that's not really what's popping in this photo. A little bit of white over it, I could bring it out there as well. Then I'm keeping a lot of the blood lanes. I'm keeping a lot of the blood texture in there. I'm a little before and after action. Let's see how that kind of went. So that's the before, that's the after. Before, after. Super subtle, bringing a little bit of light to the eyes, and I kind of want to do it here and the people a little bit, just brighten them up oh so slightly so they can see me. We can always go too far with this. For that's the after. For the after. Let's back out. Alrighty though, we clean up a few things here on this photo. A couple of different textures. Now I need to do a little bit of a job here on some of the gray hairs, which you can down and dirty this too. Just go with DX, get the black as the foreground color over here, and I can do a sort of shading in job. Because the definition kind of, it's not great in there. I could just do basically a somewhat burn technique from dodging and burning. It's just a really dirty, fast way to go about it. And dodging and burning is one of those things that I feel like there's about 20 ways to go about dodging and burning. Just lightening one area of photo, darkening another photo of an area. You can do it on faces, you can do it on landscapes, you can do it to pull attention to things, you can do it to take away attention, hide stuff. Any of those you could get it dodge and burning techniques on to use. It's not a thing that I do a ton of, but for the sake of showing off one of the most commonly done things, let's go out here, let's do a levels layer. Like I want to maybe hide some of my grays. Let's darken the photo up some. Alright, let's pull all the way out so you see the picture's darker now. And what I'm going to do is invert it with a layer mask. Go down here. Oh, let's get that off the screen. Now, Command I to invert, and it's inverted. Whenever you have white as your foreground color here in Photoshop, it's going to reveal what is underneath that layer. So, zooming in right here, how about for the sake of just a crazy extreme example? B for brush tool. Let's make this larger. And let's make this, let's say, 100%. 100% hardness, opacity 100. And now, let's move this as it loads. That big circly blotch I just made there just revealed this layer over here. So what that does is just reveals what's underneath a layer directly. There's ways to get around that where it's not revealing what's under directly and not affecting, not what we're doing right here today, but it is indeed possible. But this is going to be the technique that I use to hide some of these grades. Command Z to delete what we just did, and I'm just going to zoom in here. Get a smaller brush, much smaller. And I'm actually probably going to keep that opacity. I'm just going to lightly go over this. Oop, Command Z. Just lightly coloring in some of that facial hair. Like I'm marking over it, but I wanted it so black and dark there that I'm not really noticing it. That's an area I could kind of cheat on a little bit. That is not how I would normally go about that, but again, I've never really did a color in. That's just one way to do it. Now, this is what we finished with this photo. Me cleaned up, me not looking quite as aged and grizzled. That's the before with a little bit more of the pores, me looking mad at the universe, probably upset with that phone camera app for the A7 III to get photos. Actually, it works pretty fine for me. I haven't had to use it in any big pressure situations though, so the verdict's out on how good it is, yet the reviews are not too friendly for it. And that is the after. More smoothed out look, gray's gone, eyes whitened slightly, a little bit more attention brought to the eyes, especially that one on the left, which I would probably balance that out if we were doing something more with this photo. But that is it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me during this long form edit. If you like that, let me know about it. Hit me up at photo17.com to see any more photos. You're on for those other photography tips and tricks. It's Carolina's Photography.